Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alright, here's the star of the show today. Oh my goodness. Alright, so this Sunday afternoon actually, but he pulled cable apart last week, so I put another cable I had on him. And he was there this morning. He was there when I got home from church. And I came outside about an hour after I got back and got in the house. And he wasn't there, and I saw his cable laying. So I'm like, all right, walk up to the cable. And I done threw it in the dumpster here, but maybe I can show y'all. Yeah, you get to look inside the dumpster. How about that? This thing's supposed to be looped on the end and crimped. And this ain't the first time one of these things has done that. It pulls out because he pulls on it too hard. They don't crimp it very well. So usually I just take a couple little cable clamps and put it back together and put it back on him. But that cable that I had him on, he had already broken it, and I added a 3-foot piece to the end of it. And this was the end that's the end on the stake. And then the end he pulled apart was the end up by his collar. So I had already bought a new cable. Come here. Quit chewing on your toy. Come here. Y'all see his ring. That's as far as he can go with the old 20-foot cables. This one is about 25 feet. And he'd rather play than come, but he can come 4 or 5 feet further now. So he still can't get to the road. He can get over to that tree, but he can't get to the road. He can't get around the mailbox. So that's a bigger cable. It's rated for 250 pounds is what it's stamped on the end of the cable. We'll see if it holds him. I don't know. But I got the bike out. I've been having a lot of issues with the cramping from the Rocky Mountain and whatever else. I don't know. But the cramping's just been excessive here lately. And it's preventing me from doing a lot of things that I want to do. But I got the bike out, cranked it, and rode down, look for him. Now, last time he got loose, he went across to the neighbor's property across the road, and they live in Florida. They only come up and hunt on the weekend. They've got a camper parked under a pole barn, that kind of thing. So I rode up there, and nobody's there. They didn't come this weekend, and he wasn't up there. Last time he came running from that side when I went looking for him. So then I rode down to my sister's, didn't see him. Rode to the neighbors on my side of the road. They've got 4 or 5 dogs. Didn't see him there. I figured I'd see him in there playing. And then I rode on down to the next neighbor on my side, and then the neighbor on the other side of my sister, and turned around at the intersection down there on the dirt road. Came back and went down this end to the empty house that's past me this way. That's all that's there. So then I came back and decided I had already looked on cameras and didn't see him on cameras in the woods back behind the house. But I rode back there anyway because the camera doesn't show it all. It's got motion tracking, so if he had went in front of it, it would have followed him. But apparently he didn't. He was right over my property line in the 75 acres of pine trees that a guy owns behind my range, running to the right. And I hollered at him, and he stopped, and I stopped the bike, of course, and hollered for him again, and he ran right up to me. I loved on him for a second and said, look, you know you're not supposed to be back here. And then I said, come on, let's go back to the house. And I rode, and he ran the whole way, outran me. Of course, I wasn't running wide open on the bike, but he outran me all the way back up here. He listens for the most part. So I grabbed the new cable I had, got him put on it, and I've got another one of the red 20-footers that's a spare. But it still works. So just in case. Now he's on the new bigger cable. Maybe it'll last a little while. I don't know. The next time I go to Lowe's here in town, I'll buy another one, because he's rough on them, y'all. See, now he's wanting to show how he can go past his ring. He can go about 5 foot further than he can or could. So, anywho, he gets plenty of exercise, y'all. If I should have already done it, but I could pull up the video on my camera system, because like I've said before, you can't be anywhere on my property and not be in multiple camera shots. So there's 2 right there and a third one right there. You can't be anywhere that there's not multiple cameras. So I can watch him from the front camera, I can watch him from this camera, you know. But he will get out here playing and run that circle. That's not from him walking, that's him running that circle at the end of his cable. Just running. He gets plenty of exercise. But anywho, I needed to make a video. I figured it'd take me longer than 20 minutes to find him. Oh yeah, he wants to be played now. Let's see. All right, I can tell the water's halfway down. No bugs, well, a couple dead bugs on top, but no larvae or anything in it. I'm probably going to have to add feed. Yep. Just right down to the bottom. All right, I'll have to fill this feeder up and get that nasty feed out of that corner. Okay, so I went ahead and threw the chickens now. The last couple of days, I haven't gotten home in time to do anything with the chickens. So actually Friday, was it Friday? I didn't even collect the eggs. I mean, I'd filled the feeders up Thursday night when I got home, because it was dark. I filled all of them completely full, so I knew I didn't have to go out there Friday. They wouldn't be out of food. So I got home late, didn't come out, didn't even collect the eggs like I normally do, and left them alone. Then Saturday, I had a project that we did with a couple of buddies for one of our friends. He used to be our assistant pastor. He's a really, really good guy. And he lives on a little homestead. Has a lot of animals similar to myself, but more. And he's off-grid, you know, got a lot of off-grid systems. He has a very, very unique off-grid well system. He has a DC, a 12-volt pump motor in his well. So it runs on battery power. And he has off-grid panels that run his well, and he's got battery backup for it. But it's so far from his house, and it's not his 2,500 gallon tank is not up off the ground. He's only got about 5-6 feet of fall from his tank to his house, so he doesn't get any pressure on his water. So he puts a booster pump in line on it, and that booster pump has a pressure tank on there, a little 2.5 gallon pressure tank, and it takes his water from the 2,500 gallon tank and pushes it to his house to give him pressure. Well, that booster pump's 240 volts. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's 120 volt, but it's a half horsepower. It draws a lot of power. And it comes on and off like a regular well does, according to the pressure he's got it set for. So we had to replumb all that, and we ran, he'd been running on an extension cord. Look at this idiot. That's the one with about 5 dogs in the front yard. He's not the parent, he's the child. Anyway, so that booster pump, 120 volts, half horsepower, draws a lot of power. And he'd been running it on an extension cord from a building about 80 feet away. And I've got a trencher. Let me show y'all. I borrowed it from another friend. It's a big ditch witch. And we trenched from the building where his power was coming from over to the pump house, and his booster pump was out in the weather. He had to keep it covered up. We moved it inside the pump house where the well is, concrete pad, so on, and had to run new power from the building over. And his dad was a retired electrician. His dad was one of the ones there. He hooked up all the power, put him a receptacle in there, put him a light fixture, actually a double light fixture, one for a heat lamp and one for light. And he did all that while we did the trenching. And we also trenched from there about another 30 feet or so to a little building he's got that's his office for his business. Because it'd been running on the right wire, but laying on the ground. So we went ahead and did that. Well, in the process, y'all know how things work. He had forgotten about the sensor wires and the power wires from the solar panels where he buried them to go there. Of course, we hit it and broke it, so we had to replace the power wires, repair the sensor wires, did all that. Ended up, instead of being a half a day's work, it did a full day. We all got there about 9 o'clock, and it was 6:30 when I left. And I didn't stop to eat. Now, they did all stop. I had to go to town and get the wire and stuff. My boss was gracious enough. He was actually at work anyway, but let me go get what we needed from work and so on. And I went back and we finished making the repairs and running the new wire. It's all in conduit, and repairing the conduit where we hit it. So, turned out to be a very, very long day, but it was a very good day because we eliminated the wire running over to his office building. We eliminated the extension cord running to his pump house, and it's all been repaired with new stuff that will last him a very, very long time. So that took up all my Saturday. I didn't get home till almost, it was within 5-10 minutes of 7 o'clock. So, and y'all know the time of the year it is making it start get dark about that time. So I came down, I got my feed bucket, I went ahead and filled up, and I had to use a headlamp, filled up this feeder. Now, they had knocked the bottom off, and there was feed on the ground, but they didn't have hardly any left in it. So I completely filled their feeder, and then I got another bucket and filled up those other 2 feeders. Then I collected the eggs, and I haven't even counted them yet. They're still in a basket on the counter. Actually, the last 3 days worth are still in baskets on the counter. I've got to go in there and clean up the ones that need cleaning, you know, for scraping them off, and get them cartoned up so I can take them to work, which is, you know, most, I ain't gonna say most, but I sell a lot of eggs from at work. But either way, they're all doing really well. And I'm sitting here noticing, I see 4 Rhode Island Reds over here, and 1, 2, 3 black sex links, and then the ones I hatched, the 4 right there that I hatched, and the rooster. There should be more than that over here. So I was looking at the cameras. I got a lot of Rhode Island Reds in this middle pen, and there wasn't but 1. I didn't have but 1 Rhode Island Red left in here. The rest of them are the ones I've hatched. So this is a Rhode Island Red. I hatched that one and that one. That's a black sex link. That's a Rhode Island Red. Black sex link, and one that I hatched. There was a Rhode Island Red in the nesting box. I guess she done got up. She's one of these. So one of them flew over here by herself, because I didn't have 2 in here. Anyway, I don't know when that happened, but it's been a very interesting few days. And I was talking to Matt, my buddy, the guy's house we were at. I've got to get out here. I'm fixing to go grab my impact, my drill and stuff, and come out and get all my lights set up and going. I got to run the extension cord back. It's coiled up behind the pins, and get it plugged in. So when it gets below 40 degrees, these lights will come on for some heat for them. And I don't leave it plugged up year round. There's no need. So I need to run power for that, for the chicken pens, but I'm not going to do it because I'm building new pens, and I just don't see a need in running the power for this and then abandoning it when, oh, there's a Rhode Island Red in there, when I get the new pens built, which will probably be next year. But I need to get the extension cords out, get those lights hooked up. They keep knocking this one down, so I need to fix it where they can't knock it down, or at least less likely, and make sure they all three work. They knocked this one down, so I've got to screw it back up, clean it off, screw it back up. It's on the ground and they're covered in chicken poop, so I have to clean that up. But I'm going to try to get that done today, because sometime later of next week, it's supposed to get down into the 30s. Not freezing temps, I don't think, but it's going to be in the low 40s at the very least. So anyway, that's my life, y'all. I'm not a perfect person by no means. We only had one and we crucified him, but I try to help people when I can, and that was something I could do. And trust me, I paid a price for doing that last night. My body cramped up on me so bad last night. Made me think life choices, but either way, God got me through it. So I've got to get off here, get the cords out, get them plugged up, make sure the bulbs still work. Get all those lights mounted so that they'll have some heat when it gets cold. And I've only got about, well, I don't know, it's only around 2 o'clock. So I've got another 5 hours of daylight, but I've got to get it taken care of. And then I need to pick up some limbs if I have the energy and throw them off in the woods so I can get back there with the mower. But either way, I'm liking this cool weather. I don't have to worry about wasps and all that stuff while I'm out doing stuff. And makes life a little bit better for me, because I can't stand wasp. But there's Sue. I don't think he's molting, but he might be. I've got a few that are molting. You see a few feathers on the ground every now and then. Luckily, the main flock is not. So it's because most of them are young. But I'm going to get off here. Guys, y'all remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared. Let's go back to the start of the show. All right, boy. You tell him you're going to behave. You're not going to run off no more, are you? Huh? Tell him you're going to behave. You're not going to run off. Nope. He said, I'm going to do what I want to, Daddy. Y'all be good.